What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about what it's like to have your North Node conjuncting your partner Saturn in So when it comes to Saturn and Saturn's role in a relationship, Saturn is the planet all about discipline. It is the planet all about structure. And when it comes to Saturn, it's also a planet that represents karma as well as long-term commitments. And so with that energy, it has a way of bringing in a sense of responsibility, maturity to a relationship between two people. While on the other hand, the North Node is all about really the direction in life that someone is headed towards. And it's all about a person's sense of future growth and the life path that a person is on. And because of that, when it comes to the North Node and what it brings to a relationship, it really brings in the sense of direction that a person is meant to be following within this life. And when it comes to them being able to evolve in this lifetime. Like for instance, takes for example, if a person has their North Node in the sign of Virgo and they have their South Node in the sign of Pisces. So that would mean that they may have come into this lifetime with tendencies to be more so like Pisces and being in a space where they might be more so dreamy, they may be even a bit more idealistic. And with the North Node in Virgo, this is really about being able to shift towards embracing the characteristics of Virgo, such as becoming more organized and learning to be able to serve others in more practical ways, and even just paying attention to detail. With this being the North Node, this is really where a lot of success is going to come from for them, because over time in this lifetime, the life path is really pushing them to shift towards being able to have more so those Virgo-like traits and basically having a more grounded approach to life and kind of move away from the Pisces tendencies, which can be a lot of avoiding of structure for fantasy or escapism. And this is how having your North Node in this situation can help them evolve in this lifetime. So when it comes to having a conjunction between your North Node and your partner's Saturn, the Saturn person coming into the North Node person's life is actually going to kind of help the North Node person when it comes to being able to develop and get to this place of personal growth. And that is because with this conjunction between the North Node and Saturn, this relationship is one that is meant to happen for a specific reason. It does also have the effect of teaching both of the people in the relationship important life lessons. And when it comes to having conjunction, it especially is showing that the Saturn person is going to have and play a role in the North Node person's life when it comes to being able to grow, mature in ways that bring them closer to their life purpose and their life path. And so for the North Node person especially, this relationship is going to influence their life direction in some way. And when it comes to the Saturn person's relationship with the North Node person, they kind of take on this role of kind of being like a mentor or a teacher in the North Node person's life. And when it comes to what's really drawing the North Node person towards the Saturn person, it is this feeling of the Saturn person having the ability to help the North Node person align with their life purpose in some way. So much so that the Saturn person may even feel this feeling of needing to be able to help the North Node person in this relationship in some way. And the Saturn person may even really want to help the North Node person when it comes to achieving their goals and playing a supportive role in the North Node person's life. And in the positive, this relationship can actually have a very good effect on the North Node person. For instance, they can come to learn different important lessons, such as taking responsibility for their life, for their choices in life. And the Saturn person does feel the strong sense of responsibility towards this relationship with the North Node person. And with that, there can also be a sense of commitment that they have in this relationship with the North Node person. And having this Saturn conjunct the North Node can really be signs of having a lot of long-term potential in a relationship, as well as also a kind of relationship that really endures and has this very serious quality to it. And within this relationship, they can take each other very seriously as well as the relationship. There's most likely a focus on having a long-term relationship and being able to persevere and being able to have the patience to work through any challenges that come up together, and in that way grow together too. And it's not always the easiest connection to deal with. In fact, when it comes to having Saturn conjuncting the North Node, can bring in some obstacles or feelings of having delays in the connection. But it does bring in the sense of a willingness to be able to work through or grow through any challenges that come up in the connection with each other. And even when it comes to any of the challenges in this relationship, it really is making them grow, evolve, especially for the North Node person who is going through this connection in a way that is helping them align with their life purpose. Because it's really encouraging the North Node person to grow in a way that's going to align them with that. And with having this conjunction in a relationship, it really does bring in a sense of seriousness to their relationship, but there is also a strong sense of focus in this relationship between the two of them. And they still have this really strong bond, especially when it comes to being able to work through challenges that come up together. It just makes the relationship especially very strong and long-lasting between the two of them. And when it comes to this relationship with the Saturn conjuncting the North Node, it tends to withstand the test of time. They have a sense of duty and a sense of commitment towards each other as well as towards the relationship, and they can take that quite seriously with this aspect. And when it comes to their strong bond, it comes as a result of being able to get through a lot of stuff together, and it really pushes them to experience a lot of maturity as well as a lot of fulfillment eventually in this relationship with each other. And basically they're going to grow a lot, they're going to evolve a lot. And it's the kind of relationship where they both come to, when they look back, feel as though the relationship was meant to be. And it feels like destiny has a big part to play in the connection and them meeting and them coming together. And with the North Node person experiencing being able to grow in a lot of ways and stay on the right path when it comes to their destined path through this relationship with the Saturn person, they come to really appreciate their connection and their bond with the Saturn person, even through the times that can feel challenging. Because with this conjunction, there can still be some hardships that they get through or need to get through in this relationship. And when it comes to the challenging sides of having the Saturn conjuncting the North Node synastry with someone, it can be in how at times the Saturn person can actually be perceived by the North Node person as being overly strict or being restrictive or just being controlling in this relationship with them. And that can be something that feels uncomfortable to the North Node person, like the Saturn is being overbearing or they are stifling them in this relationship with them. Even though it can be a part of the North Node person's journey of growth in life, it can feel like at times this is also contributing to a sense of heavy responsibility that the North Node person may feel they did not sign up for in this relationship with the Saturn person. And the Saturn person can take on this authoritative role in the North Node person's life if they're not careful. And that can lead to a feeling of having a lot of tension in this relationship between the two of them and in their relationship dynamic. This can really bring out a sense of the North Node feeling a desire for a feeling of freedom in this relationship, and even a feeling of wanting to be able to grow freely without the influence of the Saturn person. And the Saturn person may really desire or demand being able to have structure in this relationship with the North Node person, and they may really need to meet in the middle when it comes to agreeing upon a balanced way of being able to have both of those needs met in this relationship. Also, when it comes to Saturn's influence in this relationship with the Saturn conjunct North Node aspect, it can feel like there's a lot of slow progress in the relationship. It can be slow progress to move forward, and it can feel like things are delayed at times, and it just really does feel like it's testing their patience in this relationship with each other. Because when having this aspect, they can come to find that when it comes to the unfolding and the evolving of this relationship, it does take time, and it does also require patience because of that. However, it's a certain level of wisdom that gets brought into their connection, and the sense of being able to look back and understand how all of the experiences and the challenges actually shaped them, especially the North Node person. This is a relationship can have an influence on them in a way that shapes their life direction. And in essence, this aspect really brings in a very rewarding element to the relationship, especially if they're both willing to put in the effort to be able to grow together. This does bring in a sense of a deeply rewarding relationship to share with someone, especially because it can feel like there's slow to move forward energy in this relationship with this aspect, and at times that can feel quite heavy as well. Because in the negative, especially if things are too rigid between the North Node person and the Saturn person, can bring up things like feelings of resentment, as well as things like feelings of a fear of disappointing each other. And that especially is true for the North Node person to the Saturn person. And with all of those things in mind, it's not exactly going to make a relationship easy. It can be one that is challenging or difficult at times, and does have the presence of hardships at times. But with this synastry, they really do experience a lot of growth and especially get the most out of the relationship with each other when it comes to being able to handle the relationship in a mature way, and especially with an open mind and a willingness to grow through any other challenges that come up for them in this relationship. And it leads to them being able to experience a lot of progress in that way, and that's on a personal level but also as a couple. But in the positive, it definitely is a sign of having a long-lasting bond, and also a very strong bond when it comes to what this aspect brings into a relationship between two people. There is something karmic about this relationship between the Saturn person and the North Node person, and it is one that's meant to be, and it's meant to be for a specific reason. They're both going to evolve through this relationship, especially the North Node person. And having the Saturn person there in the North Node person's life can be actually very instrumental and helpful in the North Node person's life. Because even though the North Node person is the one that really experiences this relationship as helping them evolve and also getting closer to being able to accomplish their life mission, with the Saturn person also can actually take a lot of enjoyment from being able to help the North Node person. It makes them feel needed by the North Node person in this relationship, and also with the karmic energy in this relationship between the Saturn person and the North Node person, it can also feel like there is a sense of being able to pay off a sense of karmic debt from a past life for the Saturn person. And it really is one of those relationships where they come to learn to trust the process. And growth in this relationship can especially happen quite naturally in this relationship between the two of them over time. And that can even heal certain parts of the Saturn person that may feel, there may be this fear of a sense of failure for the Saturn person. And even things like having a fear of not being enough or being inadequate or losing control. And this relationship can also help in healing that for the Saturn person. And even just things like being able to really embrace a sense of flexibility, they can learn that from the North Node person, as opposed to having a very rigid way of approaching life and relationships. And the love may not always be the typical romantic or passionate expression, but it is seen through things like being able to have somebody who's always there, who cares, who's going to also provide a sense of security and support, and growing together and having this really strong, long-lasting kind of bond that they're committed to with each other. And it can be more so things like deep respect for each other, as well as this mutual care between each other. And the love is still very real, it's very significant even with this aspect. And it's even seen through them being willing of facing challenges that come up together. Well, that does it for this video on having your Saturn conjunct your partner's North Node in synastry. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you found it helpful. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.